Now, the UK and EU leaders appear to have hardened their positions on reopening Brexit negotiations, throwing more doubt on any breakthrough before the October 31st deadline. European Council President Donald Tusk has rejected British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's latest demands to get rid of the so-called Irish backstop provisions in the current withdrawal agreement. It's an insurance policy to prevent border checks between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland. Tusk says Johnson hasn't presented any viable alternative, so there's nothing to renegotiate. Laurence has more from Dundalk, near the Irish border.
This is the M1 motorway, the main arterial route connecting the Republic of Ireland behind the camera to Northern Ireland and the UK away in the distance. And it is the absolute flashpoint in the standoff between the European Union and the UK in the crisis over Brexit. What both sides say that they absolutely want to guarantee is no hard border, because that would jeopardise the long-standing Northern Ireland peace process. And to that end, the idea had been to have this thing called the backstop, leaving the border open until some new arrangement can be found whereby the UK can leave the European Union totally, leave the customs union, technology probably, but to maintain the open border. Well, now Boris Johnson, the new British Prime Minister, who insists that the UK is leaving on the 31st of October, with or without a deal, has said the backstop has to go because he says it would lock the UK into the European Union in this orbit forever, and it's undemocratic. But in his letter to Donald Tusk at the Council of Europe, in which he says some alternative arrangement needs to be found, he can't say what that alternative arrangement is, and so consequently his letter has been ruled out of court by both Donald Tusk and by Irish politicians here who we've been speaking to as well. The reason why it matters isn't just because, if you can imagine, border controls there, big queues of traffic, big effects obviously on cross-border trade, both for the UK and for Ireland as well. But the other reason why it matters is because in Ireland in particular, the absolute fear is that a customs post there would be attacked by dissident Republicans, and they would go for not just British but also Irish customs officials, and you'd see the re-emergence of the troubles which blighted Northern Ireland for so many years. The UK says it's a myth, it's scaremongering, there won't ever be a border, we'll make sure it doesn't happen. Something else just needs to be found. But the trouble is Boris Johnson can't say what that alternative solution is, and the closer we get to the end of October, the greater the fears are of the re-emergence of the hard border and all the security risks and risks to trade that go along with all that.